Hi Ankur, how are you doing?
All good, Dr. Swaroop. Everything is fine.
Wonderful. So nice to connect back to you after a few months, and so happy to see that you've actually started your new company. I can see the name over there, Pivot Health,
Yes, yes, yes.
and yeah, wonderful. And I hope that our work that we did together was pivotal enough for you to get into Pivot Health.
Yeah, definitely. So that is because obviously my company aim is to help people pivot their health and
Hmm.
at the in terms of coaching myself or being on this journey. I needed that pivoted. So that's where
Wonderful.
probably connection with you happened.
Wonderful. So, Ankur, can you tell me a bit about yourself and why did you think of connecting to me that time and what were the challenges? We can just start from there.
Sure. So, after being 20 years into corporate world, I joined as a co-founder in one of the startups in health space. And there I worked for almost 4 years. And then I quit that because it didn't scale up or was too successful financially to an extent which I wanted. And then 2 years, 1.5 years, I was back in a corporate job. And then I was looking for a transition back because health was my passion. I wanted to do something in that space, but I felt mentally I was not ready after a failure which was there for after 4 years of hard work. I felt I was not in the best mental space to or had the courage to take that shift again.
Hmm.
And perchance I happened to see one of your podcasts or one of your interviews on YouTube. So that's how I came to know about your work. And I was exploring. Although you come from a sports background, but when I heard that podcast or that interview, I felt there was a sense of connection. And sports is something which I also connect with.
Hmm.
So that's what led me to reach out to you and understand that how you can help me make that transition, and correct any mindset issues which you feel as a coach, which I
Hmm.
can work upon and be in a better space as in a new innings.
Right. Absolutely, Ankur. And I think so. I remember when you came for the first time. I think so. Right now, we are in such a different mental state.
Yeah.
But at that time, I'm sure you must have been in a very different state, right? A lot of confusion about really what to do, bit frustrated about your job and not knowing whether I should really get into it again, knowing that you've failed once. And probably now it all seems too easy, but at that time, I'm sure there must have been a lot of ups and downs and sleepless nights and not really happy with what you've been doing, right?
Yes, yes. So, so that was, I would say, that hesitance was there, so that is there. And, it's like preparing for or appearing for an exam for which you feel you're not prepared, fully. So,
Mm.
that was the mental state at that point in time, before the start of the journey. So, yeah, so definitely these were the feelings before we started.
Mm. And I think so. The argument is there's so many videos that are there, the motivational videos. I'm sure you must have read books. You are a knowledgeable person.
Yeah.
Probably you also realize that beyond a certain limit, they won't help unless you know exactly how to apply those, right, in the practical
Yes.
sense. What is your
Yes.
take on it?
Yeah, so books, videos, so they're one-way communication. They're important sometimes to remind you or get a perspective. But let's take if you are trying to see things objectively, or that video or book doesn't know the context with which the person who's reading operating with. It can give a
Hmm.
guideline or a reminder, as I said, but a real person, a real coach is required because then every individual's mental state, mindset, situation, context is different, and that's where I felt a professional coach will help me to help me in making that shift,
Hmm.
because and then who will answer my questions, who will then held me accountable. So all those reasons,
Hmm.
that having a real person who understands the context, and who is able to answer my questions, and also be an accountability coach in the journey of whatever changes which needs to be made. So that's why I felt I needed a professional coach like you.
Sure. We look at this many times. We look at it from a psychological perspective, and I think so. When we had our first conversation, I told you this is not about psychology; it's about performance coaching. And
Yeah,
I remember that time very clearly. You were like a bit taken aback. You were like, "What exactly does this mean?" And so how? What's your perspective? Like, what made you actually join this program? Any because I'm sure it must have not been easy on the pocket because this is a very
yeah,
customized program. I do
sure.
remember that you had to think about it a lot. So, what really made that change for you to say, what, I really want to go in with this?
So as you said, so yes, I did reach out to, or read about different leadership coaches which were there, uh, and I just felt for the need I had, or the use case I had, was probably not, it was not for leadership, so that was
Hmm.
not my need at that point in time. My need was to be able to be prepared, and correct my mindset, and take up the second phase, or second entrepreneurship, more on the ownership driven, rather than a job. So I felt
Hmm.
that there I was probably, I felt, based on your work, that it was more suitable to my requirement. I would say I was not looking so much for leadership. uh, I was looking for more performance orientation, or change, so that was my need. My, you can say, probably in cricket terms, my need was not to be a better captain, my need was to be a better player. So that's where I,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
that performance aspect more resonated with me, for
Hmm.
the need I had.
Right. I think so. You joined our jump protocol program, right?
Yes, yes, yes,
And
I did join.
that's what I think so. You had seen in one of the podcasts that I had, and I'd mentioned that about jump protocol program. And it's
Yeah,
for those
yeah,
people who actually want to make jump happen in their life but are unable to take that leap of faith, so to say, because
yes,
every leap of faith also needs the right decision making, the right ability to be fearless, to conquer those fears and insecurities that come your way. And
yes.
you did have them when you actually uh, were in that state, right? And what connected you to the jump protocol program?
So what connected was the entire process, which was more a discovery process rather than a prescription process. So that's where I felt that, in a way, as a coach, probably you are helping me find answers to my own questions,
Hmm.
or give me a framework, or you can say a nudge or a guide, or whichever way we can put it, that it was not that I had a question and you had a straight away answer.
Hmm.
So that's what I felt, that that protocol, more than protocol, it was, I would say, a customized protocol within probably a framework you may be operating in, that helped me to make my own protocol.
Hmm.
That's what I felt, that and that's something, you can say, like an SOP, or a process, which always remains. Yes, I
Hmm.
do it that sometimes, but I know that I can go back, and that was another good experience I had, probably first time.
And how was the experience over 3, 4 months? We had a lot of give and take. It must have not been easy, right? Because at
Yes,
that time you were actually thinking about making that jump happen. You resigned from your job. You actually then had to think through your company fight those failures, create a team, and actually we stopped once we were sure that you actually crossed on the other side and
Yeah.
have a company in place.
Yeah.
So as you are learning, you are applying it in your jump, so to say, right?
Yes. So I was, applying, and then uh, understanding certain nuances was, a little important for me, and identifying what were the gaps in my thought process. So that reflection, or so there was a moment, where you questioned that my commitment or intention is not like 100% there. So that. Was I would say a turning point for me in the coaching journey. And so I would put it, probably for me that was a pivotal point in our coaching process, to be able to have someone question with right intention, but with full honesty and integrity to the process.
You actually crossed over, and of course, I'm sure there must have been a great feeling. There are always going to be new challenges coming your way. But how was the experience? Did you feel that you achieved what you wanted to after this coaching process? And has it helped you not just in the work that you're currently doing, but probably having a better perspective of how to handle challenges and things irrespective of what they are?
Yes, so I would say that that definitely has helped me in making that shift. And obviously, I'm learning, applying, learning. Feedback, that loop
Hmm.
will keeps going, and with time, things will be even better. I would put it that ways. But I have a lot of confidence that I have maybe an SOP, or maybe I have some tool with me which I
Hmm.
can apply in a situation. I
Hmm.
don't feel helpless. I would put it that way.
Hmm.
And I feel, okay, this is my playing style, or this is the way I operate. And this improves best probability of having a focus point, and knowing what is Ankur's process, rather than
Hmm.
what a book or anything any person would have said. So that's where I feel that big change is there. And
Hmm.
many things, yes, they are at subconscious level, they're part of my behavior. And that resilience, or that ability to, I would say, not give up, has as is great, is increased quite a
Hmm.
lot from
Yes.
before the coaching.
That's wonderful. I remember interestingly when we started our coaching, you had sent me a personality profiling that was done,
Yes,
and I
shall
said,
we?
I really don't look at it at all because it really doesn't matter. And probably you realize that now when you look at it, irrespective of personality, is about how you perform. What have you realized with that?
So I felt that some of these when looking back, some of these personality test, or whatever personality profiling, they can give you sense of direction, but then that may not have relation to what you are going to perform. So you have to separate. May I'm not sure I'm using the right word, but what I mean is, let be a little indifferent to your personality and perform when the requirement is there. That
Right.
personality need not be a driver of the way I perform. So I would put it
Hmm.
that way, that that personality is part of me, that for sure.
Hmm.
But when it comes to performance, these are like two separate things. You can disassociate, or do not let that hamper your performance.
Right. And I think so. Instead of that, we made you go through the Zeta 6 peak performance assessment, which was
Yes,
more performance based, and we had a before and after, and we could
yes,
actually measure the performance. We could actually see a change, not just in
yes.
what you're seeing, narrative action, but now we actually seeing a change in performance objectively.
Yes, yes,
How
yes.
was that experience? Because about the Zeta 6 assessment.
Yeah, so Z6 assessment was important because I'm a person who likes certain objectivity to the process, not just what I feel. And I think the Z6 assessment was, as it's more assessment of the that state of mind, you can say, or state of mindset at which is there, and then pre and post. So it was more
Mm.
on those lines. So I could clearly have an objective, I would say, way of comparing, where I was, and where I've reached. That's how I would say it helped me to have an objective view of my progress.
Wonderful, Ankur. Since we are here, some final points about my mental coach. About you, I hope you enjoyed my style of coaching, and what would you say? Tell to others about how they should start look at performance coaching and peak performance.
So I feel I come from entrepreneurship and a corporate world, so I'll talk in that context. So I feel that everyone um, uh, needs at definitely once in life, or at critical stages when they are making transitions or growth, or stuck, to have a coach like you, and be objective, that uh, because when it comes to coaching in corporate world, it is mostly about leadership coaching, but
Hmm.
that is very very different, I would say, from a performance based coaching. You can probably may need both, that is a different matter, but
Hmm.
performance is something which is irrespective. It could be a middle manager, it could be an entrepreneur, it could be a junior person. So that's more, I would say, not restricted to only being leaders needing that performance, because every one of us need uh, to perform for whatever task we take up. So that's where I would definitely recommend that you coach, and then your style, as I mentioned earlier, it is more about helping through your coaching process that person discover the process themselves. So that's the best part, that because prescription do not last for very long, because then
Hmm.
fixed set which you're trying to adapt, rather than helping a person to make that change, because then once you've discovered, then you can apply it much, I would say, effectively, and for a longer period of time, rather than a prescription which then lasts when the situation changes, then you don't know what to do, because that
Agreed.
prescription is for a context which keeps on changing.
Agreed. And I think so in life, decision making is so important because decision making is what changes your destiny, right?
Yes.
Or else there's so many people who just keep doing the things, fearing about what will happen if they make that jump, and they just land up not doing anything, and unfortunately, then they live their life with regret. And I
Yes.
hope that through this jump protocol program, you have been able to make that decision and actually make that jump towards unknown territories. But I'm sure, whatever it is, happy that yes, you could do it and do what you absolutely wanted to and desired to.
Yeah, yeah. So thanks a lot for your help and guidance. And I know that you're always there, whenever things get
Of
stuck,
course.
to remind me, or to do so. So I would not only say that I got a coach which was there with me, where we worked intensely for 3 to 4 months, but having that support system to reach out. Is also great, that because you understand where I was, how I transition, which are the triggers which are there, and so that's what I feel grateful for, and and keep performing and improving my performance, I would say, as life goes on.
Wonderful, Ankur. Thank you so much. We had a great conversation, and I hope to connect with you again.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Swaroop.
Yeah.